Not contain my excitement about today's episode because I am going to show you what it costs to make this box right here, the iPhone box. I'm going to show you every component, every detail, and to the penny, how you could build one of these for yourself. Make sure you stay around to the end because I'm going to share with you guys some very important details on making your own box just like this. Okay, so as I clean up my little fumble there that you guys witnessed, check out all this iPhone packaging that I have. And who of you has actually had the euphoric pleasure of unboxing an iPhone? Give me a thumbs up down there. Who's an iPhone fan? Who's an unboxing iPhone fan? In fact, I actually, look at all this packaging. I've got an iPhone original. I kept this box for some reason, right? 4 gigabyte, first generation iPhone. But who has not only unboxed an iPhone, but recorded themselves doing it? I hope you guys were wearing headphones during that ASMR audio visual unboxing experience. If not, go ahead and give that a rewind and watch that over again with headphones. Trust me, much better. But I'm getting mic'd up right now because I'm gonna take this to the desk here in the studio and I'm gonna show you guys some really tight angles, some detailed cost breakdowns of the iPhone box.
So I got my lineup of boxes here. I'm gonna show you guys a couple of these. The outer shell of this box is known as a laminated turned edge fiberboard.
Or as I like to say, turnt edge fiberboard.
And this is made with offset printing with an emboss both on the logos and on the phone. The impressive part of this box is the sharpness of the edges. This is actually, these angles is really difficult to achieve in manufacturing. That's how sharp it is. I mean, I'm almost cutting myself there. The impressive part about that sharp edge is in the manufacturing world, we call that a V-cut. Traditionally, a box like this or a paper overboard box is gonna be manufactured with a straight cut, which is gonna give a little bit of a tapered edge, which this iPhone is seemingly all 90-degree edges. So this paper extends all the way to the inner base, as you can see right here. And then a separate paperboard is glued inside to cover any paper edges that would be seen on a traditional paper overboard box. So as you can see, as I'm pulling this phone out, this is my personal favorite part of the experience, peeling that PET plastic off of the front of the phone.
So that plastic that you saw on the front of the iPhone there is literally some of the only plastic left in this iPhone packaging as they replaced that previous plastic tray with a molded pulp. In fact, 95% of this packaging is actually made from molded pulp.
You guys, which to get these lines, the precision with a molded pulp is extremely hard to do in manufacturing. Like, again, the sharpness of these edges, check these sharp edges out, right? This is paper. This looks, to me and to the naked eye a lot of times, it looks like plastic.
So I do have to note real quick, most of the time in packaging, what brands usually do is they do a thicker outer shell box, and then the inner one is a really weak box, which you can do to save money, but then your packaging is not gonna be like apples.
So the box itself, the top and the bottom, this is gonna be in that 85-cent range. This is what's gonna cost you to build a box like this, 85 cents for the box itself. So now as the phone is gonna lay right inside this molded pulp tray right here, it fits perfectly down in here. Looks very similar to previous models, but it's actually one of the most innovative parts of this packaging. The tray is made of this, as I mentioned, this molded pulp. This is the same material used, so molded pulp is the same material that we use in egg cartons, right? So a lot of times you see an egg carton or a biodegradable packaging that is done, and if you look at an egg carton closely, the edges are frayed. Like, it's not a perfect mold. There's a lot of porous material, as it seems. And that's what is impressive with the level of sourcing that Apple has done, with the quality, the high quality of this paper, the materials are second to none. It's actually really difficult to source this type of stuff, but you don't have to produce the volume Apple's producing to get a box very, very similar to this, to get a molded pulp tray similar to this. This is borderline plastic. This is probably some of the finest molded pulp that I've ever seen. The process here when they're doing this molded pulp tray in manufacturing, as you're sourcing and manufacturing, is actually called a wet press, as compared to typically, like in the egg carton example, is called a cold press. If you didn't know better, you might think this is plastic. If you didn't look really close and analyze this, you might think this is plastic, and this is what Apple's trying to do. They're trying to convey perfection and have all those pieces fit perfectly in there, but not be too tight or too loose. Molded pulp, as we know, it makes this tray and the majority of this box biodegradable as compared to polystyrene, which they've used in previous models. Combined with the minimal paper wraps for the cables and the headphones, this tray allows for all items to be packed in a single tray. And looking back on this old iPhone box that I have, a couple of them here, this 4 GB original iPhone box, there's not only is the insert inside this, which I don't have, plastic, but there was 2 trays before. There was a tray to hold the phone, and there was a tray beneath it to hold all the accessories. There's also a little foam piece in here, which they've done away with, and they've gone with more of like a die-cut fiberboard that's just placed to protect the phone, a lot more sustainable. So you might be wondering to yourself, what is the price of this? How do I get a molded pulp tray like this? Well, again, there's tons of different grades. There's everything from like the grade of a egg carton material that is a cold press, or more of a wet press that you're gonna get, and the sourcing of this high quality material. You could get this in that 30-cent range, so, right? So we're like, we got our 85 cents, we've got our 30 cents. We're looking at this packaging, and it's actually not too bad for the quality of box that we're gonna get here. That pricing is really good. So other elements like the plastic paper wraps for the cables and the screen cover are gonna be a very low cost compared to the rest of the box, because they're gonna be a simple die cut and scored paper. The screen cover here, which is 3 cents. The wall plug cover is gonna be 2 cents. Headphone paper wrap in that 4-cent range, and then the lightning cable wrap in the 3-cent range. So I'm not meaning to be a total fanboy over here over the Apple packaging, but even the significance of, say, like the wall plug cover, it is a translucent matte finish cover that goes around to that. Really seamless unboxing, opening experience there. Just little nuggets, little details like that. Apple is sourcing at the highest grade material, which is really difficult to source. Significant thing that Apple is doing in their unboxing experience for our pleasure is everything is a simple one pull and release. Like, we don't need to fumble around and grab a knife to get into this stuff, zip ties. We don't need to go grab scissors. We can literally just take this and pull and release. Everything they've done is attention to detail. We don't think about this as a consumer, but when you unbox this phone and you don't need to fumble around, you don't need to cut anything. It's literally like, even this paper, like I've got right here, this paper is gonna be a simple, this is die cut, and so it's just gonna be a simple tear and release. And to get this kind of precision on this paper, look at these lines right there. To do this with a machine automation, and let alone, they're doing 40 million units per year. They're producing 40 million iPhone boxes every year. To get this kind of level of precision on these lines, as you can see, is crazy. So far, let's look at the finished cost right here. $1.27 for a box like this, are you kidding? Like, that's actually pretty good. Like, I know some of you guys right now are making, you have like a stock box that you're buying from one of these websites, and you're paying more than that. It doesn't have to cost that much. When you do packaging, when you do custom packaging, it doesn't have to cost that much. It's about sourcing the right factories. Which does remind me, you guys, you know my little friendly little reminders, right? This URL. Throw your email in there. Hit us up. We can talk strategy, pricing, all things packaging. If you haven't noticed by now, we're obsessed with packaging. All right, so check it out. This $1.27 that I've referenced, this is gonna be in that 50,000 unit range. A lot of times in pricing, when you see the most efficiencies in pricing, obviously we're not gonna produce something at 40 million units, right? Unless we're Apple. But when we see that pricing not plateau fully, but that 50,000 unit range is typically in pricing, and where we see a really, like, you see the optimization from machine cutting, from printing, and manufacturing. All right, so let's build you guys a box like this, right? Like, no sense in paying this outrageous pricing for ugly and standard and generic stock packaging. Like, this is achievable for you guys. Do you guys keep your boxes? Do you have, what's the latest iPhone box or the earliest iPhone box that you have? Leave that in the comments. I'm curious to see if anybody else has an original iPhone box. Have you found a better unboxing experience than Apple? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you guys see if something out there. I would love to do a video on it. If there's a better unboxing experience than you see than Apple. Okay guys, that is it for today's episode. We will see you on the next one.